Welcome to The Nation. I'm Jessie Chahal. In the latest QS World University Rankings 2026, Sunway University, one of Malaysia's leading private universities, has made an impressive leap, gaining global recognition for its academic excellence and research impact. Now, joining us to discuss this milestone and Sunway University's remarkable journey is Professor SIBRANDES POPPEMA, the President and Vice-Chancellor of Sunway University. Professor, welcome to The Nation. Thanks for being here.
A pleasure.
Absolutely. We've had some time to speak just before on the show as well, and it was really exciting to get an insight about not just QS World Ranking, but where Sunway has gone, from leaps and bounds as well. But let's start with this. Why do world rankings matter, and why do they even exist?
Yes, so there's two types of ranking. The very first ranking actually was the Shanghai ranking. And that was started because the China government wanted to know where Chinese universities were standing in terms of the quality of their research. And Shanghai ranking is all about quality of research, nothing else, just quality of research. Then the next ranking was actually at that time QS and Times were together, was one ranking started by QS. And that ranking actually came about because they were also a student recruitment company. So they wanted to advise students better where to go, because students, particularly international students, have no idea what is a good university in another country, which one is not. You can go to the website of any university and we happen all to be the best in the world. So that's not quite believable. So the ranking was there to give some indication of the quality of universities. So that's how it was set up.
To provide sort of not just a benchmark or guideline, but a way to measure where the university stands given a few criteria. Sunway University has made an impressive leap in the latest rankings, rising from the 539th position to the 410th globally. So first of all, congratulations on that. That's a significant milestone for an institution, and of course for us here in Malaysia as a higher education institution as well. What were the driving forces, Professor, behind this achievement, and really which areas of improvement or strategic focus do you believe contributed to this result?
Yes, very good question. So over the past years, we used to go up by about 50 places per year. And I always said we need a much bigger jump than that, and so we finally got it this year. What's in those rankings is particularly quality of research. What's in there is reputation, what people think of you, have they ever heard of you? And what's in there also is size. Now, we have been growing so rapidly because of the quality of our research. So over the past 3-4 years, and so that tells you much more to come, because the past 3-4 years, and the rankings are always about 5 years, our quantity of publications, but particularly the quality of our publications, has gone up very rapidly. And so when you measure that quality, and a lot of that measurement in the rankings is based on citations per paper, and then all sorts of permutations of that, making it specific for the field, etc. That's where we've gone up. And right now, 2023, 2024, 2025, and only 2023 reflected in that ranking. But in those 3 years, our quality of our papers is second to none, meaning better than Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, MIT, NUS, NTU, and you name them. So that has been done in a very short period. And in the next years, actually, those data will also enter the rankings, and we will go up even higher in those rankings. So that's already a given. So that's the quality part. There you have direct influence. The other parts, reputation, Sunway University is 14 years young. So we are teenagers, right? Young universities are universities younger than 50 years, but a 20-year, a 30-year, a 40-year-old university is so much older than a 14-year. So reputation partly is also a function of time. It is partly how many people have heard of you. So publicity, very important, because you have to do good, but you also have to tell about it. So that is number 2. Size is the third one. And that one also we are growing. So Sunway University, since COVID, at least we did not shrink during COVID. During COVID, we had tiny little bit of growth. But after COVID, we've grown in the past 3 years about 50% in total. So 14% growth per year. From 7,800, let's say 4 years ago, to 11,700 this year. And by the end of this year, it will be 12,500, something like that. So growth is very important of students. Based on that, based on growth of number of students, we also increase staff. For every 20 students, 1 additional staff. But a couple of years ago, we did something rather unique. We said, okay, we'll have those 5 staff. That is to maintain 1 in 20, but we will recruit 1 extra. So it's 5 plus 1.
That's the ratio.
And the plus 1 is somebody who is top 2% in the world in his field or her field. So 3-4 years ago, we had 6 of those people, which is similar to other private universities in Malaysia. Today we have 40, so 6 times as much. By the end of this year, we will have 50. And that has made a very big difference in both the quantity of our publications, so it's grown also by bounds of almost 40% per year over the last few years, and the quality at the same time.
There's much to be proud of in terms of quality research, reputation, size and growth, as you've mentioned as well. But in the long term, Professor, based on the QR rankings, the university has also made some progress at the Times Higher Education Impact Rankings as well. So elaborate a little bit more on the role of sustainability the university plays in terms of its long-term strategy.
Absolutely. So Sunway City, I think most Malaysians know, is the icon of sustainability. It's taking an abandoned tin mine. Tan Sri Jeffrey Chair, took an abandoned tin mine 35, 40 years ago, just 2 holes in the ground, and now it's a green, sustainable, smart city. So when in 2016, Jeffrey Sachs, at that time he was the advisor to the Secretary General of United Nations, one of the people who developed the Sustainable Development Goals, came to Sunway. He realized Sunway already very sustainable. So that's why the 2 Jeffreys started the Jeffrey Sachs Center for Sustainable Development in Sunway University. And today we also have United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network Center, Asia, right in Sunway. So there's only 3 of those centers. Headquarters New York, there's one in Paris for Europe and Africa, and the one for Asia and Oceania is right in Sunway. So that was the start, already in 2016 of sustainability. And sustainability is about what you teach your students, but sustainability is also what you do on campus. True. So both of those aspects come also back in a ranking like that. So for several years I've said, this is going to be the first ranking where Sunway University can be top 100. And lo and behold, this year we jumped even higher from 250 to 81. So that even was a bigger jump than in the QS ranking. So the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, so they look at all of those, and then you are ranked based on your achievement in 4 of them. We already now have 6 subjects that are top 100. 5 of those are top 50. 2 of those are already top 25. They take the average of 2 years. It means that next year we are most likely going to be top 50 already. And that's based on all the things that Sunway University is doing in terms of sustainability, these different goals. So it has to do with clean water, it has to do with good work for people, health, all of those different things.
Those are some strong reflections of not just the brand, but the values behind Sunway as well. Sunway does not just, walk the walk, it also talks the talk, in other words. Based on that, Professor, at the campus, at the U, there is a sort of perhaps an initiative, a campus with a conscience. Talk to us a little bit about the university's specific efforts and other initiatives in this area in terms of engagement and social responsibility.
Yes, that's a very good question, because when it comes to our education, we say it's holistic education. What we mean with that is it's not just the knowledge, it's not even just the skills, but it's also the values and the mindset. And this is really about the values and the mindset. So the values, the Sunway company values, also the university values are number one, integrity. So for students, do not cheat. It's about humility. Yes, can be proud of your achievements, but no, you're not better than other people. Everybody has the same value. Number three is about excellence, you know, the best version of yourself. Mindset very much has to do with sustainable development and also with planetary health. Now, that all comes together, these values and this mindset, in a community development project that we are doing right next to Sunway. So Desa Mentari is a housing complex. There's 26,000 people living there, more than 26,000. 10 of these large complexes, and all the things that you find in major cities in the world, you find there. So there's poverty, people are unemployed, many are unemployed, there is lack of education often, there are problems with healthcare, all of those. And so we started initially as a community service project, but we really now say it's a community development project, which we will be doing for many years. So we went over to them and asked them, what are your problems? So we're not going to tell you what your problems are. We're not going to tell you what the solutions are. We're going to ask you, what are your problems? So all of these came on the table, and safety, etc. And now our students and our staff are working on those, and it's really important, so we make the place better, looking better, but it's also about education. You know, the proudest moment will be when the first of those kids will be coming to Sunway University. Yes. We started out by giving...
full circle, isn't it?
Yes, then it's full circle. We started out last year by giving school uniforms and shoes to 1,200 of the poorest children. This year, 1,275. So that's a start, but you know, we want them to go to school. Our students go there and do programs for those children. Our students go there and do healthcare checks. Our nursing students, in the near future, our medical students. One of the most important things now has become the realization that whatever you do, the most important thing is to make sure that there is employment. So actually now we found that there's a number of companies that actually are looking for people. And the people in Desa Mentari are looking for jobs, but they can't find each other. Right. So we brought, the first one that came was Post Malaysia. So they came a couple of weeks ago, 37 people got a job. Now we are bringing other companies. The other thing is there's also a number of single mothers, you know, cannot go out to work. We've started a pilot project initially now, doing entrepreneurship for these women. So 9 of them are in the pilot project. They are starting their company. They get all the courses that students or that staff that want to start a company get. And basically, they can earn money. So the best story so far, very recent, was with Hari Raya. One of them sold 14,000 ringgit in cookies. And she had never seen 14,000 ringgit before.
Fantastic. It's just uplifting and inspiring, but I'm going to hold you on to that thought and that story as we take a quick breather right here on The Nation. We'll be back after this.
Conscience, a state of awareness with a feeling of obligation to do the right thing and to do the thing right. At Sunway University, we aspire to cultivate a sense of collective responsibility within our community of learners, educators, researchers, and inspirational leaders. Nurturing a holistic education whilst promoting a planetary health mindset. Through education, practice, and experience. At Sunway University, we encourage a heightened sense of awareness and responsibility of the world we live in. Our actions, our desires, the outcomes, and the results. We practice what we preach. By doing it physically, harnessing renewable energy, conserving the planet, taking vital resources seriously, and delivering it to all. Creating solutions, planning for a greener future, identifying sustainable solutions and working together to achieve them. By instilling a culture of conscience in our campus, our community, our city, and our collaboration of countries. To be that little voice of positive influence in all who pass through these halls of enlightenment. To give our beloved planet and future generations the greatest gift of all. The gift of a sustainable future, the gift of eternal life. To do the right thing and to do the thing right. Sunway University, truly a class above.
You're watching The Nation. In the spotlight today is Sunway University, who has risen 129 places in terms of the QS World University 2026 rankings. Not just that, Professor, but also the Times Higher Education Impact rankings. And now Sunway University is the only private institution in ASEAN to be ranked in all three major global rankings. That's the QS, the Times Higher Education, and the Shanghai rankings. You also say there's another set of rankings in which Sunway University has, is shining,
well. Yes.
with flying colors, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the applied HE, Applied Higher Education ranking, which is a ranking specifically for private universities in ASEAN. And that ranking actually takes some different things into account that are very important, like student satisfaction and employment of the students. And, in fact, those are two of the most important things. And they've made the amount of influence of research, etc., smaller, because when you make one thing bigger, you make the other one smaller. And I'm very pleased that Sunway University now 2 years in a row has been #1 in that ranking. So the #1 private university in all of ASEAN. And particularly because it has to do with these two things that are so important. Student satisfaction and employability.
We talk about employment and, we talk about youth and we look at there's this issue of brain drain as well. From a macro standpoint, where do you see Malaysia's educational landscape on the global scale? From these rankings, it is certain that Sunway leads the way and is showing an amazing example. What then is the issue or problem?
I don't think there is such a big problem. Malaysia in general is going up in these rankings, particularly in QS ranking and also in the Times Higher ranking. And in fact, Malaysia also doing very well in the Times Impact ranking. So in those rankings, Malaysia is doing well. Malaysia also definitely is recognized as one of those countries that for international students is becoming more and more attractive. Now you say, is that a good thing? To have more international students, and yes,
of course,
it's a very good thing for the country. It makes a lot of friends of Malaysia, so people that come and study here, they may stay here. That is brain gain, so I'll talk about brain gain before I worry about brain drain.
True, absolutely.
In general, actually, it's about brain circulation, but that is one. Second, they bring a lot of money into the country, because international students bring money for tuition fee, but also they are living in Malaysia, so they improve the economy of Malaysia, which is very important. And Malaysia is really one of those countries coming up, thanks to the fact that, you know, the level of English in Malaysia is clearly better than in the surrounding countries in ASEAN, exception of course Singapore, but for all the other ones, the level of English in Malaysia is better. So also many more programs that are in English and in good English. So I think this is a very good thing for Malaysia to be successful internationally. And for that, the rankings are important. So that is a good thing that several universities in Malaysia are going up in these rankings.
As the President and Vice-Chancellor of Sunway University, Professor, what is your vision for the next decade of Sunway University, and what areas of growth and transformation are you particularly hopeful for and focused on?
Okay, we have 10 years is a long time. I think 5 years is a good period. So our plan for the next 5 years is actually very clear. We call it a virtuous growth strategy. So we want to keep growing 14% per year, each year. That would result in 25,000 students by 2030, so the next 5 years. At the same time, of course, we will be increasing the number of staff in that 1 in 20, and we will increase the number of top scientists. That will bring us higher in the rankings. So the virtuous part is actually when we go higher in the rankings, it will become easier to recruit international students, so that is driving the growth. For that, it is very important to also have great facilities. So we're just completing a new building, the Sunway Business School, and the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences will go into that new building. That, by the way, will also have a fantastic performing arts center, the Sir Geoffrey Chair Performing Arts Center.
World class.
World class, 1,200 seats, the best audiovisual in Malaysia. So that will be ready next summer, but the university building otherwise should be ready by the end of this year. Then Sunway University can grow to 20,000 students. But I just said 25,000. So we need another building. So next to that building, already drafting the plans for another building, which will be also specifically for our new medical school, the Sir Geoffrey Chair Sunway Medical School. Of course, there will also be many other students in that building, but it will be specific building for that school. You know, also right next to Sunway Medical Center, you know, the top private hospital, maybe the top hospital in Malaysia. So bringing that all together. So that will allow Sunway to grow to the 25,000 students, will allow us to grow the number of publications, grow the quality even more, although much higher than number one, you cannot go in quality, but the score can still go up. And then fulfill the second dream of Tan Sri Geoffrey Chair. His first dream was to make that abandoned tin mine into a green, smart, sustainable city. His second dream was for Sunway University to be the Harvard of the East, or on other days when Cambridge is visiting, the Cambridge of the East. Basically, I've always said that dream is much easier than the first dream. The first dream was impossible, but he's done that. The second dream is doable. Why do I say that? Number one, if you look at research already, now our citations per paper, maybe I should explain what that is, but our citations per paper are better than Harvard and all those top universities. Citations per paper is when you write an article and publish that article, other people will hopefully read that article. That's step one. But then, when there's something in there that they find is important, they will cite that in their article. So the more citations you have, the higher the quality of that paper is considered. So when you have a high number of citations, it's supposed to be very good research. So that is what we are doing. So there we are already better.
Ticks off the quality research, and then,
Yep.
as you've mentioned, its size and growth and reputation. Prof, we want to thank you for coming today and sharing your insights, as well as highlighting the work that goes on into driving Sunway University forward and to be a world-class university. And as Malaysia continues to rise on the global education map, achievements like these inspire excellence across the board. That's all for this edition of The Nation. I'm Jessie CHAHAL. Thanks for tuning in, and do follow us for more in-depth conversation on topics that matter. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful.